Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome to something a little bit different. We're going to call it a channel update, something like that. Re-examining Scarlett's review format. You might have noticed that I haven't really been reviewing games quite as much recently. Disillusion's not the word I would use, but my system, which is kind of unique and it's interesting, and I know a lot of people kind of enjoy it, as unusual it is, the $5 to 1 hour conversion. It's kind of got a few holes in it that I don't like. And I want to fix it, and I've got a new solution that we're going to pivot and we're going to give a bit more of a go. Let me just start by saying the 2-hour overview videos still being well received. People love them. I think they're a high value product that no one else is doing. And if you're not across it, I look at games for the first 2 hours. It's the Steam refund window. I have a whole spiel about it, but I would say 99% of the time, it is a great way of showcasing a game fairly and giving it enough time to really get an idea of what it is, and if it is in fact worth your time, worth your money. So I'm very satisfied with that, and that's not going to change. However, I do like the idea of reviewing games, even just for myself. I enjoy being a gamer. I'm going to be a gamer till I die. I like being on the cutting edge of it, right? I kind of enjoy it when FOMO grabs me. The idea of reviewing a game a week is a very strong appeal to me, but this does beg the question of how best to fairly cover every game. The attempt of $5 to 1 is a valiant one, but the real problem is, I don't know, a $20 game might be worth putting 50 hours into. Like, it might be an absolute banger, great game. And me putting it down after, 4-8 hours, whatever the math is like, it's probably not really fair. Inversely, a lot of criticism around the AAA industry, a lot of it's valid as well, and I don't really like the idea of giving 20 hours to a $100 game just because of that arbitrary rule, when all you're really getting for your $100 is, more bloody eyelashes per square inch or whatever, right? Like this high fidelity pores or iris colors or whatever. I don't care. No one cares. Really, the only people that care are the game devs. And they're trying to sell us this high fidelity graphics arms race that we all checked out of a couple of years ago, and that's why indie games are starting to really go. So it's a good system, but it's not good enough. Here's the new one. Well, here's the setup for the new one. I went to How Long to Beat recently, which is a cool website. I've seen it from afar. You can go there, make an account, log your games, and it aggregates together, hey, this is how many hours The Witcher 3 takes to beat the main story. And it's actually a very inspired system, because the more people that log their honest hours, the cleaner that score gets and the more accurately it represents the gaming base. So I essentially took those scores and I made my own aggregate. I pulled out thousands of games, put them in a spreadsheet because I'm a nerd, and sorted them by year. And then I also applied certain filters against outliers, like Terraria takes 800 hours to complete apparently. No, that's an outlier. I don't need that in my data set. So essentially I took a clean data set over a decade of many, many games to try and actually figure out what is the average time that it takes to beat a game. And lo and behold, it's around about 14 hours on average, right? Each year varies a little bit, 13, maybe 15. But 14 is a pretty safe bet. And you know what that also ties into? If you play a 2-hour power block of gaming, similar to what I've been doing with overviews, and you do one of those every day, that's 14 hours a week. You can, on average, get through a game. Now, look, I'm not telling you how to play your games, but I've been actually playing non-overview games, like Elden Ring, for example. I've been playing a bunch of that off channel. Maybe I'll do a video on that. I'm not even up to the DLC because I never clocked it back in the day. I'm just totally fresh and I'm really enjoying it. But I've been playing that in these 2-hour power blocks where I just block out my day or whatever and I focus in, I time it, and it's kind of reinvigorated the way I enjoy games. Having a ceiling, having a real limit on it. Being less of a, slovenly just sit there for 12 hours, maybe playing games. Maybe scrolling through Steam, getting analysis paralysis, looking at all the bloody games that you have that you're never going to play that you bought on sale and they're going to sit there forever. No, being more kind of driven and objective based, I've been really enjoying playing games that way. So look, do whatever you're going to do. Gamers hate being told no, when the truth is, the reason why a lot of us don't really enjoy games is because we're not tempering our obsessive behavior. I honestly think that. Maybe give that an experiment. Pick a game, play that game for the week, play it for 14 hours at 2-hour blocks a day. You might find that you really enjoy it. That's kind of what I'm going to do going forward. That's how I'm going to review games. I'm also going to do the overviews. There also needs to be a consideration that some games are going to deserve, or I'm going to want to give them more than 14 hours. I'm going to want to give them another 14-hour block, a 28-hour Elden Ring follow-up video, something like that, right? And I know people have asked for that before. They've asked about follow-ups because of the limitations of my review method. Reasonable requests. So that'll be my sort of third power block. 6 hours a day. That's not that unreasonable. Plus editing, plus I work another job as well. This is the price you pay. And through that sort of wild card overflow, it will account for games that I want to give more time. It will account for out-of-season stuff like maybe I want to play Kingdom Come Deliverance in preparation for the sequel. There's an opportunity for that. Maybe I want to look at old games from 10 years ago. Well, there's room for that in there as well, I suppose. But also, remember, the modern gaming culture is a game at 1.0 is not done. If you release a game at 1.0 and stop development, a lot of gamers crack the SADs. I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's still the culture as it is. I like the idea of following DLC or big version updates, and that's not really something I cover on the channel, so that wildcard flexible slot would allow for me to, look at things that are potentially, Victoria 1.5 update, something that's not an official 1.0, maybe it's not something paid for, but it's a significant change for a game that I enjoy. Anyway, so long and short, and hopefully I haven't really left any gaps there, that would be the method. I'm still going to do overviews daily. I'm going to do probably 5 of them a week now, I suppose, because on day 6-ish, once a week, let's say, I'm going to do a 14-hour review or less, however long it took. And on day 7, I'll do the 14-hour plus, whatever that is, whether it's something else altogether, whether it's 28 hours and I'm still playing, that sort of thing. And I think just in the end result, that means, if 50 weeks in a year, I'm going to end up coming out the other end with about 250 overviews on average, 50 reviews, roughly a review a week, something like that, plus change. And I'm happy with that. I think that's pretty cool, and that gives everything a much more reasonable amount of time for me to spend with it. Even like at the end of the day, as much as this is me offering you a product, I'm still a gamer and I still want to enjoy games. And I think that sits in a really good sweet spot as dictated by other games metrically, where I give it enough time to really get through it, but also we put a bit of a hard cap on games that are bloated, grindy, and wasting your time as well. Anyway, so they're my thoughts. I'd be curious what yours are, if you want to share them. Do you have issues with this yourself? Of course, someone will. But I just wanted to be transparent, that's the whole reason I got into reviews. I don't particularly have a craving to do reviews. I just like playing games. And my disdain for my fellow reviewers and their obfuscating of information and getting caught plagiarizing shit and just general lack of transparency. That's why I'm doing this. And so that's the whole point of this video, is just an attempt to be transparent from one dickhead gamer to another, how I want to cover games. Anyway, let me know what you reckon. Might just leave it there for the time being. I'll catch you guys on the next one.